expected to be more aggressive. Higher rates for longer is the mandate of the Fed. So up until that takes place, I guess the market is going to be within that range itself, 17,400 to 800. The good part is that there are a lot of these beaten down stocks that are making an attempt to come back, whether it's the Adani Group stocks, whether it's a couple of the infrastructure names as well. So all is not lost. But yes, the rally that we saw in the last 3 days, that has come to a halt for now.
Okay, well, maybe just about a breather at this point in time for the markets. But let's get talking to the first company that we have on our radar this afternoon. Caplin Point is the one that we're talking about. The company, in its latest exchange notice, has said that they have received a US FDA approval for thiamine hydrochloride injection. Thiamine hydrochloride basically treats vitamin B1 deficiency. Not only that, the company, including this approval, has received three approvals, and all of them injectables, just in the past 1 month from the US drug regulator. To discuss this and more in terms of the business, we have with us Vivek P, who is the COO of Caplin Point Labs. Vivek, hi, welcome to the show. Well, you know, we haven't spoken to you post your Q3 numbers, but I wanted to start by discussing these 3 approvals that you've received in the injectable space just in the past 1 month. They're not that big in terms of market size, but it's probably pointing to a lot of approvals possibly coming through and a pipeline of drugs that we might see for Caplin Point. So tell us, what can we expect going forward?
Yeah, so we're quite happy with the recent approvals. Of course, there was a bit of a lull period in the last 1 year where we didn't receive too many approvals, but that was a blessing in disguise for us because we actually milked a lot more out of the existing approvals that we have. We've been consistently gaining in market share with the products that were already approved. But now that with the new approvals coming through, I think we can really kick on into extra gear from here. Like you said, these are not very large products that are getting approved, but that's sort of within our sweet spot. We don't want to go after only products that are over $1 billion in revenue or anything like that. We want to have a wide portfolio of products. Our offering needs to be broad-based against multiple therapies so that anything that goes through a hospital would need to go through the range of portfolio that we're developing at this point.
Okay. Vivek, hi, good afternoon, and thanks for being with us on the channel. Earlier, I think you had aimed for achieving 200 crores of sales by the end of FY23. Are you on track to do that? And what about FY24? Considering that, you know, you're sounding very optimistic, what could the growth in FY24 look like?
We are certainly on target to complete 200 crore plus this year. You'll have to wait for a few more weeks and see. But for the next year, we've set ourselves a bit more of an audacious target where we feel that we can still grow another 50%. With the approvals that are likely to come through over the next few months, I think we should be in a position to close next year at about close to 300 crores in Caplin Steroids revenue.
Okay, so 300 crores is what you're probably projecting for Caplin Steroids. Can you tell us what might be the biggest risk to Caplin Steroids in the US market now? Because, you know, I was just having a discussion with somebody with regards to US price pressure, and they said that it is significant. What is the kind of price pressure that you're probably facing in the injectables market, in the markets that you are currently in the US? And what might be the expectations on US price pressure going forward as well?
Yeah. So in terms of pricing, to be honest with you, for many of the products where we are working on, you know, already it has bottomed out to a certain extent. In fact, you'll be surprised to find that many of the products that we are already in the market with and some of the new approvals, we start seeing a little bit of an uptick in pricing. You know, and also what constitutes to a pricing pressure for a larger company might not really be what we would call as low margin products or anything like that, because obviously we come from a smaller base as well. And our expenses, etc., are different to some of these larger players, you know. So overall, I would say that, you know, if you net off our EBITDA outside of the R&D and many of the facility fees that we are paying, our EBITDA margins are very similar to our parent companies, which is already at a slightly healthy level, I would say, you know. So pricing pressure is there. I would not say no, but I would say that many of these products that we are talking about pricing pressures is largely bottomed out.
Okay, pricing pressure on many of your products is largely bottomed out. Just to come back to the numbers that you were giving us, Vivek, you said you'll end FY23 with 200 crores and FY24 with 300 crores. So that's a 50% jump that you're looking at in revenues between FY23 and 24. Will it largely be organic, or are you looking at some inorganic route as well? Because you do have cash of over 700 crores on your books.
Right. So whatever that we are talking about is organic. See, you'll also have to understand that we have been significantly investing into R&D for quite some time now, right? So what you're seeing in terms of growth, obviously on a lower base with regards to Caplin Sterics, that's why last year to this year is likely to be about 70% and then 50% hopefully next year is big. It's the fruits of all that we've invested into over the last 4 to 5 years, and hopefully we see more of that going forward from here, because we've also been expanding capacities as well. So this is not just the R&D coming into play. This is our consistent compliance record, expansion of capacities, and some of these products that are getting approved that we filed over the last few years.
Okay. Can you just give us a sense in terms of what the compliance status of your plants would be from where the injectables are filed?
Yeah, so we are still waiting for an audit to happen post-COVID. The good thing is we might be in the good books, I guess, because they've not yet prioritized our plant. But some of these very large plants as well that are into injectables also haven't been audited recently. But the mantra is that we need to be in a state of anytime readiness when it comes to US or any other inspections for that matter. So I would say that, the sooner they come, the better, but we need to be in the state of anytime audit readiness.
Okay, so you haven't been audited since, say, 2019, 2020. Is that correct?
Correct. And we're not alone. I think there is a significant backlog with regards to FDO audits. And obviously, recently, all of them are unannounced audits or very short announced audits, right? So we don't really have an idea of when it will happen.
Okay. All right, Vivek, thank you for stopping by and speaking to us, and all the best with your growth plans. That is Caplin Point. They're looking at completing this year with around 200 crores on their books in terms of revenues. That could grow to 300 crores in FY24, which is a 50% jump. And they're saying that a large part of it, almost all of it, will come through the organic route itself. So that's Caplin Point Labs. Let's do one thing. Let us now get a look back on the markets and tell you what's been happening there. So far, so good in terms of a move on the market. I mean, it's still down, but not out, you'd have to say. Down about 70 odd points. Let's take a quick break on that note. Here's a quick programming note. On the 14th of March, CNBC-TV18 will host what will be India's largest summit on gender parity in Delhi. Women leaders from all walks of life will come together to brainstorm and help take decisive steps to bridge the gender inequality that exists in India and across the world. The event starts at 4:30 p.m. on the 14th of March, and you can catch all the live action right here on CNBC-TV18.